Everyone to the studio, please. Testing. Testing. Hello. Dr. Grind. Godfather. HR3. Come to the studio, please. It's time to go live.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, good back. Welcome back, everybody, to TGD Today here in Tech Talk with Al Cloyd. Good morning, Al.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing today?
I'm good to see you, brother. Of
Good,
course,
good to be seen.
It's always fun to do Tech Talk with Al Cloyd, and we've got a very special subject, and we're going to talk about a particular product that I have close to my heart, and we're welcoming back an old friend that we've talked to it before.
Yeah, very, very excited to have him this morning. We really enjoyed having him on
We woke him
before.
up early.
We woke him up early, so definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we have Chris Hillary with Aerotech.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
So good to have you again, Chris. How are things with you and the family?
They're great. They're great. Thank you.
Fantastic. Well,
Excellent.
Al has been telling me all year about how such a phenomenal year that 2014 has been for Aerotech. Give us a little recap of what's been going on since the last time we talked to you.
Sure. We've been, we feel very fortunate to be in a position we're in. We're growing very rapidly, and we continue to get PGA Tour players and Champion Tour players and LPGA Tour players taking our products and playing and winning with them. We are now a custom option at virtually all the major OEMs, manufacturers. That's Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, Cleveland, Nike. So it's been very exciting times for us, and
awesome.
we expect to keep that momentum rolling into 2015.
Definitely.
Now, I'm on the website, Chris. Again, Aerotech, AEROTECH, golfshafts.com. And you can go to Aerotech, you can go to the website, follow us along here, and we recommend you do that. Now, you've got the I-70 through the I-25. Step us through what those different numbers mean and what are we looking at here?
Sure. Well, these are all our steel fiber iron shaft. So it's a graphite iron shaft that has a full layer of steel and steel fiber on the surface. And we offer this model, this technology in several different weights. And the I-70 is actually 75 grams, the I-80 is 85 grams, the I-95 is 95 grams, the I-110 is 110 grams, and then we have the I-125, which is basically full steel weight, but still a composite, a graphite shaft. So this allows the club fitters to fit the proper weight and flex for the given golfers to improve their performance.
Okay. Well, a question I have as a fitter is what am I looking at as far as we hear the terms mid-kick, low torque. We hear, torque at 2.5 to 3.5 or whatever. Explain a little bit, Chris, what all that means and what are we looking for in an iron shaft when it comes to the I-70 through I-25?
Sure. So, so we'll start with the kick point really is a general term that's used to describe the flexual location, you could so to speak, but it's really what it is. It's a term that's used to identify where the shaft does most of its bending, and I think of it more as a term that really defines the tip stiffness of the shaft. If the shaft is very firm in the tip, then it tends to bend more in the midsection of the shaft. If it's very soft in the tip, then it'll tend to be a little more active in the lower end of the shaft.
Okay.
Those kick points, the more active the shaft gets in the tip, theoretically, the more spin you're going to put on the ball, the more dynamic loft that the club will have, and the higher you'll hit the ball.
Right.
So in our line, that kick point really is all of our shafts in every weight are very stable, and they are firmer than most in the tip section, making them more controllable. Yet we do have, it is slightly softer in the I-70 and progressively gets stiffer as you get into the heavier weights.
Which it should. That makes all the sense in the world.
So if you have a player that's looking really to get the ball in the air easier, generally speaking, lighter weights and a little softer in the tip and torque will help get the ball in the air. So
definitely.
The torque measurement is a measurement of the amount of twist in the shaft.
Okay.
And the stiffer the shaft is torsionally, the less it twists during the golf swing at impact. Again, so if a player is in need of getting spin on the ball, or they want to work the ball, then a higher torque is actually better, meaning
tighter torque. Yep.
It twists more. So, and if a player is really just or it's a stronger player, somebody that really loads the club hard and has high swing speed, then a stiffer torque will work better and be more controllable. So in our line, generally speaking, the I-70 will have the softest torque, even though it's not really soft. It's still pretty firm for a shaft that weight. And then they progressively get stiffer in torque as you get into the heavier weights. So generally speaking, that stronger player that's really looking for mainly control is going to be picking a heavier weight, and that's going to be both firmer in the tip and stiffer in torque.
That's correct, 100%.
What, Chris? I've got a couple of questions here. I'm making notes as you're eloquently explaining this out. I'm going to give you a scenario right now. I have just been gifted by Callaway. I'm going to be getting some merchandise from them January 1. Good. And my decision is I'm leaving Steel. I am 54 years old. I've got what's my handicap today? A 9 or a 14 or a 22? Dee, do you know what my gym card says today?
Not today, no.
Oh, okay. All right, thanks. But Chris, I have always been a impact ball player. I come very hard down on the ball. As Hugh Royer states, I'm the only one that can hit a putter high and put backspin on it. And so,
with 4 degrees aloft.
Yeah. I currently play right now. My driver is set up to 7.5. Again, I hit everything high, and I've been told that I need to stiffen the torque on my shafts. I need to move the flex point higher to hit the ball lower. I've been told as you can imagine, being here and hosting these shows, I get a lot of input from a lot of people.
Sure.
However, the big quandary in my decision right now is I want to move to steel fiber, graphite, combination of both. I want to lighten up my club. I want to increase my club head speed a little bit. Right now, it's say with a 6-iron, it's right at about 80 to 82 miles per hour. And with the driver, it runs up maybe 95, 96. I can push it up to 98 if I step on it. But those are realistic numbers. And we are looking at wedge, 9-iron, 8-iron is around 76 to 79, would you say, probably?
Yeah, that's
mid-70s.
Mid-70s.
Yeah. So I'm at a quandary here, Chris, and I was going to give you a call. I mean, Al getting you on the air, I was going to call you anyway. But I'm at a quandary right now to which Aerotech shaft I'm going to use the Callaway Apex forged heads and on my irons, and I'm going to take those all the way down to the sand wedge. And then, of course, I've got my grind lob wedge and that Al made. And then what irons in your line should I be looking at?
Well, the first thing I hear you say is that you are coming off a steel. So that means you're used to I don't know if it's full weight steel or if it's on a lighter weight steel, but either way,
they're
recommendation.
They're S3s.
Yeah, he's looking 125 grams.
Full weight steel. So, generally speaking, for most players that have played a lot of golf in their lives, if you're coming off a steel, you don't want to go too light too quick.
Yeah, too dramatic.
Yeah. Okay.
So because what happens is the overall weight of the club and the amount of effort it takes to move that club changes so drastically that it can have some effect in the timing of the golf swing. You really don't know for sure until you get yourself on a launch monitor and try these different weights. But
right.
Kind of got to crawl before
the majority of the time, somebody coming off steel really should focus on the 110 or the 95.
That's just, the 110 or the 95.
Yeah. And so from there, the 110 is going to be, a little bit less of an adjustment coming off of that steel. You're certainly going to be lighter than you are those S300s.
Right.
So you're most likely to pick up a little bit of ball speed.
Right.
You're most likely to keep the ball at the lowest trajectory as far as with our line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the 95 is the one that you're probably going to see, a more of an appreciation in distance and
definitely.
And but
Yep.
But is the 95, Chris? I hate to interrupt you. It just clicked in the 3 brain matter cells that I still have left. If I go to 95 to pick up a little bit more club head speed, is that also going to launch my ball higher?
Yes,
potentially can.
It potentially, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I don't need to get any damn higher. Right now, I have to file a flight plan.
Yeah, if I'm thinking 110.
I have to file a flight plan. So
we have probably a dozen full sets in play on the PGA Tour, and I would say that 80% of them are 95s.
Oh,
and
really?
We probably have 20 full sets on the Champions Tour, and I would say 80% of those are 110. So it really just depends on your golf swing, your feel preference, and so I wouldn't discount 95 because
it's stout shaft. That's one stout shaft.
Kuchar and Snedeker and Tim Clark and
it's a standout.
I mean, these guys all play the 95.
And I have no
most likely generate a little more club head speed.
Right, my swing's nowhere close to theirs. So my question is though is in the 95 is there an adjustment capable? Do I have a variation of decision to make as far as do I get a mid kick or a high kick or what?
It's built into the shaft.
It's built into the shaft. Yeah.
Yeah, it's built into the shaft and the flex. Now your swing speed, our stuff plays very firm to flex.
Yes, sir.
Almost everybody on the PGA Tour and the Champions Tour are playing stiff flex. So
that's correct.
With your swing speeds, I would experiment with that regular. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to hit the ball, higher with that regular, but it will make it easier. There'll be less fatigue. You won't have to take as much effort to load it. And so you should try them both. You should try the stiff.
Okay,
that's just what I was thinking about earlier. It's when we're in the shop and we get torn between a decision. We basically will get on the simulator, and we'll do a club comparison. So we'll run like 6 to 12 balls with one club, then 6 to 12 balls with the other club, and just compare club A to club B.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Chris, we're speaking with Chris Hillary, of course, president, owner.
Yes, sir.
Head guy in charge at Aerotech, and we love having you on, Chris. Thanks so much.
Thanks for doing it.
You don't just have iron shafts.
No,
you've got.
I want to know what's coming down the pipe in hybrids.
Right. Well, let's talk about hybrids and first, and then we'll jump into the driver and three-wood.
Fairways.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Okay. Well, we have been. What's happened is we've had a couple of hybrid-specific shafts in our steel fiber line for a while.
HLS.
What happened out on tour is we're getting a ton of players that are putting our iron shaft into the hybrids and just raving about them.
That's correct.
So what we've done this past year is we've developed a full line of hybrid steel fiber hybrid shafts that are just basically a modified iron shaft. They've got a little bit more room in the tip so that you can, if a player needs to spin the ball a little bit more, you've got it there. Otherwise, you tip it into where you firm up the tip and get spin down. So we've changed that aspect to it a little bit from the iron shafts, but we now offer. I mean that shaft will be available January 1st, and it will be. We'll offer it in 3 different weights. We'll offer it in a 78, 88, and 98 gram weight, again, so that the player can get fit into the proper weight for their hybrid. We also offer, and those are all 370 tip, which is the majority of the hybrids, the tip diameter of the hybrids out there.
Yep.
Okay.
There is a few
Which is the iron
335
diameter.
tips, so we do make a 335 tip one as well, just in one weight, 78 grams. That shaft also works very well in fairway woods.
Okay.
So that's the HFS 780, which is a hybrid fairway shaft. And then the model with 3 weights is called the HLS hybrid long iron shaft, and it's offered in the 78, 88, 98 gram.
So the one you're
showing,
showing, Chris, on the
website,
website, you see the HFS 75. So that is your current model.
That's the current model. Now we have that one has really basically stayed the same. We put the new graphics on it that with the other hybrids. Now the 370 tip those are all new, and they'll have slightly different graphics than our old hybrid pads. So and we'll offer them 3 weights.
Definitely. And for anybody out there listening, when we're talking about tipping the shaft to change the flex, that comes at the tip end where the shaft goes into the hosel. So to firm a club up, you would basically cut more off of the tip section than you would the butt section. The butt section you'll basically trim to length. So that way they kind of get a little idea. So the more you take off the tip, the firmer it gets, and so on and so forth.
Correct.
But there's only so much you can take off the tip and still get it into the hosel.
Yeah, the manufacturers usually have X amount of room, for tipping. On a parallel shaft. Now, taper tips come pre-cut as a general rule. So they'll be designated for each individual golf club.
Right. Okay. Chris, real quick, looking at the website again, aerotechgolfshafts.com. And under the irons, this caught my eye. You have a Player Spec AMI 99.
Yeah, and boy, you must have I'm not sure how you're getting that still. So we are in the process of creating a new website, and it should go live early January.
Okay.
That particular shaft we have discontinued.
Okay.
What that shaft was an ascending weight shaft. So it was started out at, the long irons were 95 grams, and then they progressively got heavier into the short irons. The problem with that shaft is that it was a very difficult shaft to manufacture, and it created a log jam in our production.
Right.
And it really wasn't a huge seller because it was real expensive.
Right.
And we ended up, just because we've been growing so quickly and we needed that capacity, we ended up discontinuing that model.
Smart move.
I apologize for that still being.
No, and I just didn't want our viewers or our listeners to go on there and see it and go, why didn't they talk about that?
Yeah.
Let's move on and talk about fairway woods and drivers real quick, because Aerotech, I have them in the shop right now at the Callaway Performance Center, and I have them in the irons. I don't have the drivers. I don't have fairway woods. So let's talk about what you have for the big clubs.
Okay. Well, we do offer the steel fiber. The steel fiber technology we originated for iron shafts. I mean, I set out, it's been 10, 15 years ago now. I set out to create a composite iron shaft that was playable for good players. And
you've done
that. We did take it into the wood shafts, and one of the downfalls of the technology is it does have a full layer of steel, so we're limited to how light we can get with it.
Correct.
So a driver shaft, the lightest we can get is 65 grams, and even that shaft is going to be a little bit higher in torque because we have a full layer of steel.
Yep.
We have less graphite there to control some of the stiffness quality. So what we found is in the driver shafts, the 75 and the 85 gram weight are the ones that most of the strong players are putting into drivers, and those are the players that just prefer something heavier in their drivers.
Right.
But they also work very well in fairway woods because, as you know, a lot of club fitters will take a lightweight shaft and put it in the driver and then go slightly heavier into the fairway wood.
That's
about 10 grams.
Transition into your hybrids and irons.
Right.
So as far as the steel fiber line in the woods, it's great for those players that want something heavier in their driver, or want to put them into their fairway wood. We also offer a line of Claymore, which is really our super high performance lightweight driver shaft, and we make that in a 48 gram and a 60 gram version. And this shaft is made with a, we call it, it's a high modulus microtex, meaning it's a smaller, it's a thinner fiber that we're able to apply more layers to the shaft and devote more layers to lowering the torque and to stiffening the tip and putting the hoop orientation, which is another subject completely. It's keeping the shaft from mobilizing. That shaft is amazingly stable for their weight. So have a sub 50 gram shaft that you can put a really strong player in has never been done before. So those are super lightweight.
And that's what we see a lot. I see in my fitting, and I know you do too, is the elder players, the high handicappers, the lady players. They're coming in and saying, okay, I know you can get a 45 gram shaft. I know you can get 47, 48, 50s, 55s. Even the retailers that are coming, the wholesalers that are coming out now, like the big boys, your Callaways, your TaylorMades, and all that, they're coming out with the 55 gram or the 57 gram. And they're making that standard.
What's happened is our manufacturing processes have improved. The materials that are available to us have improved. And we're now able to create these lighter weights and still have them be stable and controllable.
Yeah, with the lower torque.
Well, they have to perform.
Yep. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. When they go looking at the price of a graphite shaft, a lot of it is totally dictated, by the material that's used in that shaft and how intricate the graphite, how intricate the weaving is as far as the patterns in the fibers, and how much resin the shaft has. So resin's cheaper and fiber's more expensive.
Yeah, and there is an optimum fiber resin ratio that gives you the best durability and the best performance out of the graphite you use. Now, the graphite you use when we're getting into these super light weights is what's called high modulus. So it's a lighter, stiffer fiber, and it is much more expensive than a standard modulus or a mid modulus. So you're absolutely correct that dictates what the ultimate retail price will be of that shaft.
Yes, sir. So I get that question a lot at the shop. Why is this shaft this much money versus that much money? So just kind of give them a little bit of an idea on how that kind of pans out.
Yep.
So Chris, you've got a new website coming out in January. Where do you see your product line going in 2015?
Well, we have the addition of these hybrid shafts, and we're now in the development of a new driver shaft technology as well. So I really see us. We've built our brand around this steel fiber iron shaft because it is so unique and it's getting played by some of the best players in the world. And I'm a firm believer that the graphite category will take over irons just like it did drivers and fairway woods. There's just too many advantages to it.
Right.
So I really see us continuing as a predominant iron shaft company, but we're also going to be coming out with some very innovative driver shaft technology. It's just we're not there yet as far as this latest one that we're working on should be something that like nobody's ever done before, and
really?
Be a really unique product.
Do you see that in the next fiscal year?
I'm hoping that we can launch it in the latter part of 2015.
Okay. Well, we would like to be on the leading edge of that, so
definitely keep us in the loop.
Yeah, you bet.
No doubt about that. Chris Hillary with Aerotech Shafts, it's always a pleasure to hook up with you. We need to do it more often.
Oh, definitely. I enjoy having him on. We really appreciate it.
Well, we need to have one of those founders and the people, the revolutionary guys that are in
stepping outside the box, making it. That's awesome.
I believe for every player out there, and we've seen it now. I mean, like you commented with how many tour players, both ladies and men's, that are playing these shafts now.
And I think the number's just going to grow.
It is going to grow. There's no doubt about it. And as Chris so eloquently stated again, this is an evolution. This is a turnover. And it's going to continue.
Yes, sir.
Chris Hillary, thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate you joining us.
Yes, sir.
Go back to bed.
Too late for that.
Yeah,
All
no
right.
doubt.
Merry Christmas and a safe holiday season to you and yours, okay?
Yes, sir.
Same to you. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
this has been Tech Talk with Al Cloyd, of course, with Al Cloyd and George Honeycutt. We thank you so much for joining us on TGD today. And, of course, TGD TV and TGD Radio are produced and broadcast by the Zeus Radio Network for thegolfdirector.com. Whenever you're visiting thegolfdirector.com, please sure to navigate over to our course pages where you'll find up-to-date information about course conditions, specials, and much, much more. Need help with your next golf vacation? Just give Dave a call.
Just call Dave.
At 844-464-6531. That's 844-GO-GOLF-1. All of our programming is archived for listening and viewing on demand. To catch up on any show you may have missed, click on the TGD Radio or TGD TV tabs in the menu screen at thegolfdirector.com. On behalf of George and Al, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We'll be speaking to you soon, and there's much more golf news coming up next.
Awesome. Thank you.